Hi everyone, this is John Wright from the Open Stance Academy at beautiful Mission Inn Resort in Howey in the Hills, Florida. Today I'm going to address flop shots and options with regard to flop shots. I just hit a few hundred golf balls and my hands are a little tired, so I won't have to work too much with a flop shot. I just let the club swing past my hands and see where the ball goes, see how my contact is. Now I have to do things like analyze the ground condition. So this ball is a little bit above my feet. That changes the flop shot setup a little bit, but not the overall mechanics of the swing. You still want the club to move past your hands into the golf ball. Now I'm not going to hit the Mickelson flop where you de-loft or you lean the shaft forward and keep the club open with your hands. I'm not going to do that because I like this other one. It's more fun to me, and it's the one that I understand better. It's the one that is right for me. So no sooner do I brag about being one take John with our marketing director Roy than I just screwed up my first take. So this is my second take, and this is it. You know, I can't go past 2 takes. So I'm gonna take a little bit more time. First thing I'm gonna do is put a ball on the green and with a good flop shot, and then I'm gonna try to hit all the rest of my golf balls to that ball. And I got about 20 balls here, and I would do this probably minimum of 5 times just to get a rhythm, build some confidence, and go from there. So just watch me practice here a little bit if you want. I'm always trying to hit the ball right in the middle of the golf club. I'm going to aim it at that green vegetation behind the green. That should be easy to replicate. I could almost hit a bump and run and get it to there. So without beating myself up too much, I will just try to hit flop shots at that ball or shorter, but I want all of them to land on the green. Might notice I've got a little Furic loop in my swing like this. I found that that's an easy way to get the club moving faster than my hands without trying to make it happen. It just you just submit to the momentum. And even though not all of these are perfectly clean right now, I'm really working on contact and speed and making sure I make no effort at all. You notice how the dispersion is kind of all over the place? Now watch what happens when I line up, when I actually line up the club face. It's getting a little tighter, isn't it? A little tighter. Okay, so when I start to take my time and line up my club, the shot dispersion tightens up. Well, if I were seasoned and I was ready to play, I wouldn't have that kind of lack of concentration. From the first ball, it would all be very regimented. Those guys on tour, when they start practicing, they don't do that. It's all in a bushel basket. It's because they're more accustomed to the practice kind of regimen and rhythm. Yeah. See, they all take off on the same line when you concentrate. That's why when you do anything, when you're lining up, for instance, my session earlier was so frustrating because I thought I had it a few days ago, and I was remembering how I had it a few days ago instead of concentrating on what I was doing, and all I did was frustrate myself. I was hitting one ball every 10 seconds just like an infant out there. I was so embarrassed after I finished that bucket. I finished 100 balls in like 20 minutes. It was embarrassing. took a deep breath, walked around a little bit, came back, and I started to think about my successful ideas in the past, and I remembered this little Hale Irwin move. It's kind of an over-the-top kind of move. It's not for me. It's actually just less of an under reroute, but for me it worked beautifully. And I was trying to do it with an earlier post, and I was trying to do it with an arm swing until I remembered the other day the way it worked for me was my left shoulder. If I got it back here and led everything with my left shoulder first and then reacted to hit the golf ball, that worked best for me. So I got out there and hit some great 5-irons and then worked to the 2-iron, hit some great 2-irons, and then I thought, okay, well, duh, where's this been? I only wasted 3 days, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So even when I was tired, I was hitting better shots, and it's because I was actually paying attention to what I was doing. I wasn't letting my emotions get in the way of my practice. I'm an emotional guy, so it's easy for me to kind of get pulled off like that. So, you know, when I practice these shots, I start to focus. Even though there's no holes cut on this green, I don't need holes to practice. I need to really pay attention. You know, my contact is good. My contact's very good. So it's not contact, it's about where the ball starts. Because controlling your golf ball means controlling not just where it ends up, it means controlling how it gets there too. So I need my ball to get where I want the way I want it to get there. And that's when you focus, that's what you realize. It becomes a lot easier to hit these shots when you're ready. You know, you're ready. Now I can tell when I'm standing over a shot thinking about, you know, this is for the US Open, the shots aren't coming right now. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. But if I put myself in that situation with each shot that I hit like this, then the blood starts to flow a little more. It gets a little more oxygen. I don't think quite as much. It becomes more of an athletic thing. Now I didn't like that one, so I got to fix that with the next one. Even though it wasn't bad, it wasn't great. So I put the ball down, not up. I aim a little different, and I put the same kind of rhythm on it. It's rhythm shot. See how the ball starts just a little bit more left, and it's about the same distance? Okay, so those are all, if you put a center ball out there, they're all 3/4 of them are within 3 or 4 feet of that center. So from here, having to fly the ball about 25 feet and about, you know, 3.5, 4 feet above me, I can get it within 4 feet about 80% of the time right now. So if I'm practiced and sharp, like in 2 months when I'm ready to do this, I'll be able to put it inside of 2 feet 80% of the time, which is the goal. I mean, I don't want to chip and putt or chip, putt and putt. I want to get up and down or make it. And you can make these. It's doable. You aim, you line up, you have I was too close to that ball, so you line up, you get yourself ready, and you make a rhythmic move. Let the shot come off. Just like that. Just let the shot come off. I don't have to swing the club. I just pick it up, and then the momentum is there. I just want it to be smooth. I want it to be like one motion. Oop, I almost messed up. So you can do this every time. Perfect contact every time. Just you get out here, you start to breathe, you start to kind of feel and listen and experience the practice session. And then suddenly you're in a kind of a trance. When you get into trance, sometimes you have to mix it up so that you can kind of shake yourself into reality so that you can repeat it all. So this is for the US Open. I got to get this up and down to win the US Open. I win. So with that, when you practice these flop shots, here's a couple technique things that you can be aware of. I loop the club so that when I come to the ball, the club is past my hands. Okay, I want it to pass my hands. That's why even though the ball goes where it went, my club's actually pointing left of that. And I plan that into my technique because I want to be really lazy and let the club pass my hands at the bottom. Now I don't have to worry about the bottom of my swing because it's right in the middle. So I just open the club, play the ball in the middle, little loop, and then I come into the ball this way, and then the ball goes straight up in the air to the right. Now the other technique that you can use is a little more aggressive. You set your weight on your front foot so that your head doesn't move. You get a little spine tilt behind the ball. You can play the ball in the same place in your stance, and you can aim, but the ball's not coming off to the right with this technique. It's going to go straighter because, number one, your hands are lower, and number two, the club is ahead of the ball. Okay, so that means that the heel is down and the toe is more up. If you lay it like this, but nobody would, that's the difference, but nobody's doing that. So the heel is down, the toe is up more, and you're driving through the shot with the face open this way, and your shoulders turn a little more under. This technique, your shoulders turn, they turn more horizontally. It's a technical thing. You don't have to really worry about it, but you can hit flop shots with the shaft leading. I'll show you what I mean. I won't aim quite as far left. Well, let me get used to that technique. I got to create more speed. Yeah, it takes a lot more speed to use the second one. Well, it takes a lot more rotational speed. There's less arms and less hands releasing the club, and it's more rotational. If you get into a nasty lie, that's a better technique. The one where you have to rotate with power through the ball. And I think that's why Phil uses it so much because, like the U.S. Open at Marion, my heart broke on the 13th hole when he hit that little flop and it just jetted too far. Well, he had to work through rough that was like this, and he just caught it perfectly. It's the curse of being too good. But in situations like this, you can do either because the grass is perfect. You can do either one. So you have a choice of which one to use. You can use the Mickelson. Whoops, sculled that one. Let me try that again. I'm not used to that one. I never used this one. Yeah, so you can use that one or you can use the Big Lazy. I'll call it the Big Lazy. That's my personal favorite. But whichever one you do, make sure that you practice. Make sure that there's a context to your practice. Make sure your setup is good. Your club face aims where you want it to aim. Make sure that your ball is played in the middle or forward of your stance. And then work on your motion to hit the ball in the center of the golf club. Can you see that? I'm always proud of that. Hit it in the center of the golf club and hit lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of shots. And you'll get good at this to the point where when you're out there in competition or you're out there just in a casual round, you say, hey guys, watch this. And then you pull off this shot. Hey, girls, watch this. Because it doesn't take speed. Anyone can hit this shot. This club is only moving about 40 miles an hour, 45, maybe 50 at the most. I know 75, 80-year-old people that can easily move that fast. So the speed is not an issue with this shot. It's just about raising your arms and letting the club fall. So you can work on this shot and have fun with it, and it'll come in handy, especially if you get to the point where you're good at it. You're going to have more of them because you're going to take risks with your shots into the green because there's no more fear. And that's kind of comforting. But with that, I will see you next time. This is John Wright for the Open Stance Academy at Mission Inn Resort. Have a good day.